All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Nafsi Yoga. This is back and core number one. This you can find it packaged on the Nafsi Yoga YouTube channel at nafsiyoga.com. And yes, with that name, we're going to focus in on our back muscles to the degree, mainly up shoulders all the way down, and a little bit of core work. So not as much core as you might think, but we've got a little bit to work on. Let's get started. Ardha Uttanasana, we're going to be on our backs initially. So if you're not already down, come on down nice and easy. Lie down on your back. And let's give it a couple of breaths right here. To let go of everything else. Let's get our breath in check. And we're breathing in and out through the nose. Nice deep inhalations, and we're trying to push a little more air out than we bring in. Nice. Ardha Uttanasana. Bring your left knee up to your chest, arms on top or behind the knee. You can clasp your hands on top or behind the knee and squeeze the knee in. Make sure you take the knee out just a little bit so you're not directly over the rib cage. And use those biceps and squeeze in just a bit and hold. We'll take a few breaths here, in and out through the nose. Hold the tension. You're going to feel a small pinch in the left hip. And then you squeeze in a little more and hold. Keep your head relaxed. Your right leg is elongated on the mat, or if you're more comfortable, you can bend that right leg and put the foot flat on the mat. I know some of us are not comfortable with the legs extended, so make the adjustment you feel comfortable with. Nice. Squeeze in one more time and hold. And recover. Release the left leg onto the mat. Bring the right knee up. Hands on top or behind the right knee, whichever is more comfortable for you. Keep the head relaxed on the mat. And squeeze the knee in. That's it. You try to keep everything else relaxed. Try to elongate your spine on the mat. And squeeze in a bit more and hold for 2, maybe 3 breath cycles. That's it. Hold, breathe. And yeah, the pinch now is in that right hip. Not a problem though, you're feeling pretty good, hopefully. And release the leg onto the mat. If you have low back issues, that's a great stretch to do. Bring your arms overhead if you're able to, and give me a full body stretch. Toes can point, fingers reach towards the wall behind you. Pull that stomach in and recover. Bring your arms down to the sides. Nice. Hey, nice work to start off on the back. And since we're here, let's get some kicks in, shall we? You can support your lower back with your hands. I like using my hands, but you can also put a blanket or maybe a small pillow under your low back or your tailbone. And let's get those legs moving, please. Nice, easy kicks. Fish kicks, fin kicks, flat kicks. There's a lot of different names for this, I know. I never get the right one. Bottom line is, it doesn't have to be dramatic leg kicks here. Keep them nice and easy. Keep your head relaxed on the mat. And I'll give this to you. Some of you have the head raised, and there are a lot of young people in certain jobs in the military, the really physical ones. They'll do kicks with their head raised. So they're doing a small crunch on their core. Now, I normally don't recommend this for most of us, but you can, okay? It's not a problem. I don't like to crunch the neck here, but at least we're moving the head forward and not back. So yeah, I'm going to revise in this year. Feel free to lift your head up a bit. And yes, I'm still kicking, as you can see. Point or flex the feet, okay? One more breath in and recover. Ooh. Nice. Take the hands, if your hands are there, release them from underneath. Bring your knees into your chest. This is Apanasana. Squeeze both knees in. Rock a little bit left or right, or left and right. Little massage action on the spinal column is good. And roll to the right. And let's sit up in Dandasana. Okay, so we're going to sit up nice and tall, legs extended out in front. This is our seated position of, really seated position of attention for our seated poses. So legs are extended, flex the feet, toes are coming back at you. So all the leg muscles are energized, your stomach is in, chest is soft. You can place your hands next to the thighs or next to your hips. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. So push the shoulders away from the ears. Nice. Chin is slightly tucked in. Maybe one more inhale. Exhale. And you can slouch just a bit. Okay. Bharadvasana twist. This is our cheerleader twist. And I do like sitting on a block with this one because I've got tight hips. I do. So from your seated position, take your left leg and bend it. Bend it back, that is. Bend your right leg. So the right foot is sitting on top or touching the top of the knee of your right knee. This is the baseline posture. You see I'm tilting a bit. Try to keep your torso up. Without the block, I'm really working to try to keep my torso tall. That's why I like using a block. And that's just a sign of slightly tilted or not tilted, but tight hips. Okay, yes, you can bring that right foot up into the waistline and hold it there with maybe the left hand. And we're going to twist to the right. So if you're leaving that right foot there, that's absolutely fine. Twist the torso to the right. And you're using one or both arms to help keep the torso tall as opposed to leaning forward, okay? Nice. You may feel that you got a really good twist action going with this posture, with this particular style anyway, because it feels pretty good. And recover. Switch sides. So you can extend the legs out. And let's do the other side. Bend your right leg now. And then bend your left leg. So the left foot rests right on top. Or it doesn't have to rest on top. It can rest against the right knee. And now my block is underneath my left hip. All right. So once again, you can go deeper with this one and bring this left foot up into the waistline. I cannot bring mine up that far. Some of you I know can bring it up pretty tall here. And if you can bring that foot up higher, once you do, take your peace fingers of your left hand, wrap your hand behind your back, and try to use your peace fingers to grab the big toes of your left foot. Okay, may sound silly, but that's the general idea. If we practice this like every other day for a month, you'll be able to do it. Everyone else, keep your legs just as mine are and twist the torso to the left. And this is my tighter side. I can feel this one, especially on the lower right-hand side. So I'm not going as deep, and I don't want you to push it either. So do not force yourself into postures. Go where you can. Maybe after a couple of breaths, you might go a couple of millimeters further. Outside of that, hang where you are. You're fine. Give me one more breath here. And recover. Whew. All right. Navasana. So that was a good twist on the back. Let's do a little bit of core work. So we are seated. Legs are bent. Feet are flat. Take your hands behind your knees. Lift one leg, then lift the other. Oh, by the way, we are keeping the torso up. This is I call this an easy Navasana or easy boat pose. Now, some of you want to go a little further, you're more than welcome. You can take your arms out. Maybe you can extend the legs as well. This is fine. But for this session, I'm calling this one an easy boat pose. So you can have your hands firmly behind your knees, but it's a balance. So you're using your biceps, also your core, because you're using some of your bicep muscle here to keep your legs up. I know most of you are, so you're finding that happy balance so you don't go backwards. Stick with your breath. Keep breathing in and out through the nose if you can, please. Deep breaths, even deeper exhales. One more breath in. And with your exhale, recover. Nice. Shake the legs out. And Balasana. So let's come onto all fours. And if you are practicing on a hardwood floor or other hard surface, please make use of a blanket, a towel, or something soft. Please protect your knees. I call it rather important. Okay, Balasana, child's pose, from all fours. Bring your big toes together. You can take your knees apart as much as you like to here and push your hips towards your heels. And you can fold your arms if you like and rest your head on your arms. Now, with this posture, it's great because you help elongate the spinal column. And if your hips do not touch the heels, don't worry about it. Some of us are able to do that. Many of us, maybe we have really tight knees, or our thigh muscles or some of the ligaments are really tight and we can't do that. You may not do it anytime soon. It's not a big deal. Please believe me on that one. Just do what you can. Try to relax into the posture. Give me 2 more inhalations. Next inhale, bring the torso up to all fours, and we are coming down to Cobra. So we're lying down on our stomachs, hands underneath the shoulders. Bring your big toes together, feet are flat on the mat, and tuck the elbows in. Okay, that's it. And try to keep the shoulders away from the ears if you can. All right, your chin can rest on the mat. Inhale, lift chin and chest. Now, for the first one, no pressure on the hands. So you should be able to lift your hands off the mat. This is all about your lower back strength. Keep the elbows tucked in, shoulders away from the ears. Keep your head neutral, looking at the mat. Inhale, exhale, chin to the mat. Ooh. Nice. We'll try this one more time. Numero dos. Let's go. Bhujangasana. Press your hands down. Lift chin and chest up. Come up a little higher now. And think about your shoulders. Roll them away from the ears. Nice. So your hands are pressing down to the mat. Elbows are tucked in. Yep. Hips are nice and tight. Some people have really relaxed hips. You're not cinching your hips. Either way, you're doing fine because your back is doing most of the work. Inhale. Exhale, chin carefully to the mat. And Balasana. So press your torso up to all fours and then push your hips back to child's pose. Arms can be folded or you can leave them extended. I'll leave that up to you. Nice stretch though for this one. With your arms extended, should feel pretty good on the upper back and shoulders as well. Last breath in. Next inhale, bring it up, and let's come down to Sphinx. So we're going to lie down on our stomachs, or more importantly, on our forearms with our chin and chest lifted. So this is a bit of I like to call it passive work into our lower back. I used to spend a lot of time on my bed or on the floor reading books like this. It was great, but I was always eating a bowl of Frosted Flakes dry. But so we're not doing that anymore with the sugar. And yeah, if you're in a really soft bed or cushion of some type, you get a deeper back bend. So it may or may not be too comfortable after a while. All right, from our forearm plank, this is about the back. Now let's go into the core. You got it, a forearm plank. Come underneath your toes and lift your pelvis off the mat just a few inches. That's it. Try to keep your head neutral. Your shoulders, upper back, chest, your biceps are working. Your core is in. Your legs are working as well. But your core is in really to help protect the lower back. That's it. One more breath in. Exhale. Bring the pelvis back down to the mat. Lift your head a little bit. We go back into Sphinx pose. And as you can see, the feet are back and flat on the mat. Well, the top of the feet are flat on the mat. Let's give it 2 breaths and we'll try it one more time. All right, that's it. Come underneath your toes, lift your pelvis off the mat, forearm plank. All right, let's hold this one for a few more breaths this time. Stomach is in, head is neutral. You can push those heels towards the back of your yoga space if that helps. You may work a little harder on your arms on that one. Keep breathing. Do not hold your breath. Do what you can. Nice. One more breath in. Exhale. Pelvis back down. Good. Once you get back into Sphinx pose, Balasana. So slide your hands under, press up, and come into your best posture of child's pose. This time I'll fold my arms, pushing my heels or my hips towards the heels. After that work on the lower back, it should feel pretty good to elongate the spinal column with this. Nice. Give me one more breath. Next inhale. Let's bring it up to our knees for camel, also known as Ustrasana. Now, since we're definitely on our knees, please double check. If you're on a hardwood surface, use a blanket. Now, I actually have a padded mat here, but just for demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and use a blanket. Your knees and feet should be 6 to 8 inches apart. Torso is tall. Take your hands and place them on the lower portion of your back, fingers pointing down. So your fingers are just below your waistline. All right, this is camel pose, Ustrasana, a back bend. Start by pushing the pelvis forward, roll the shoulders back, and keep your head neutral here. As you push the pelvis forward, shoulders come back, you do a small back bend, eyes are open. That's it, hang in there. Give me a couple of breaths. We're not going too far down on the first one. One more inhale. And next inhale, bring it up and all the way down. So remove your hands, bring them to the mat. You can bring your forehead all the way to the mat if you like. Oh, it's a nice counter stretch. Oh. And recover. Number 2, número 2. Second camel posture. Hands are on your lower back, fingers pointing down. Push the pelvis forward, roll the shoulders back. And possibly you're coming back a little further this time. Hey, I'll open up the door. If you want to release your hands to your heels, you're more than welcome to do so. If you cannot reach your heels, you can come onto your toes. And if that doesn't work, don't sweat it. Keep your hands on your lower back. All right, good. Give me one more breath. Your eyes are open. Next inhale. lift the torso, and then as you exhale, bring the torso all the way down slowly. Keep it controlled, please. Once your forehead comes close to the mat, doesn't have to touch the mat, you can recover. Hey, I think we've got one more in us for that one. Camel is pretty deep, and I don't like doing it unless we're already warmed up a little bit. So, hands back on your lower back, fingers pointing down. Let's go. Pelvis forward, shoulders roll back. Feel free to reach for your heels, but don't sweat it. If you can't reach the heels, don't worry about it. It's not that important. Keep your hands in your lower back and keep up the back bend. Nice. Maybe a little further we come back. Eyes are open, pelvis still pushing forward. Last breath in. Next inhale, breathe up and all the way down. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, that feels pretty good coming down. All right. Downward facing dog is next. I'm going to move my blanket over. I'm coming back to all fours. So from all fours, come underneath your toes and easily lift your knees off the mat just a couple of inches. That's it. So imagine just lifting your tailbone towards the ceiling a couple of inches and hold it there. Keep your head neutral. Look at this. You're working shoulders, core, legs. Think about your feet. We're working the inner arches. No plantar fasciitis in this year, let me tell you. All right, let's go all the way. Lift the hips up, lengthen the legs, and bring the heels down. All right, we'll go through the numbers. The hands are about shoulders width apart. Fingers may be spread, but favor the pinky. Heads relaxed in between the arms. Core is in, legs are long, and if you need to bend your legs a little bit, that's fine. Let's walk it out, shall we? Lift one heel, lower the other. It's a walking action here. And now come onto your toes. Lift your heels up. See if you can find yourself on no more than 4 toes, 2 in each. Heels down. Nice. Maybe your heels are coming to the mat. One more breath. Exhale, bring your knees down slowly into child's pose. We're going to try that one more time. Hips push back to your heels. I'm folding my arms this time. You're more than welcome to do this or your variation. One more breath. Next inhale, bring it up to all fours. And let's go right into our second set of downward facing dog. So get into your best posture. And you can, typically we try to get the feet flat on the mat. That may not work for you. But as you're working towards it, you're going to feel those Achilles work here. Calves are working. And you're generally strengthening all of your legs, really, for this one. It's great on the back as well, mainly your upper back here. Arms pressing down, your hands pressing down, working against the shoulders. Your core, you have to actively pull your core in. Don't let it hang out, please. Nice. Give me one more breath. Exhale, knees down, and carefully come to a seated posture. Take your time. Your arms may feel a bit wobbly. I get it. All right. So far, so good. All right. So we did a little bit of everything with downward dog, but now let's focus again on core. How we call this the cosmic egg. From your seated position, bend your legs, feet are flat, and try to hug your legs into your core, to your torso. Wrap your arms around your knees. That's it, and hug them in. That's what we're doing. Our torso is nice and tall. So, and now let's go for the core bit. Lift your heels off the mat. So both heels are off the mat, your toes are on the mat. Lift your left toes, and now lift your right toes. Yeah, so your feet are now off of the mat. We're hugging our legs into the body. We're working on that balance bit here. If you find yourself rolling backwards, don't worry, we all do it oftentimes. Squeeze in. Nice. And recover. Bring your feet back down to the mat. Woo! You know, after a while, this looks far too easy. When I first started it, I was rolling backwards all the time. So with that in mind, make sure there's no furniture or a wall behind you to bang your head onto. All right, second set. Let's go. Lift your heels. And then one set of toes, then the other. If this isn't working for you, keep one set of toes on the mat and then just work it with time, okay? You'll be able to get everything on both feet off of the mat. Now, if you're already here and you're bored, next step, open up your arms. Yes, you'll find you're gonna work a lot more keeping your knees in as opposed to having the legs extended with Navasana. It's a different set of, I think you're working on your lower abdominal muscles more so with Cosmic Egg than with Navasana, both those. But I'm good if you keep your arms wrapped, but some of you are, we get it. If you're thinking about your grocery list right now, go a little deeper. Give me one more breath and recover. Woo. Extend the legs, shake them out. All right, let's get another twist in, shall we? We'll take another variation of a common twist, seated twist. Take your left leg, bend it. Take your left foot over the right leg. And we're gonna twist to the right. So you can hold on to that left knee with your left hand or hook the whole leg. Use your right arm to prop your torso up, twist, and look over the right shoulder towards the back of your yoga space. That's it. Yeah, once again, we're trying to keep that torso tall. And we're twisting, twisting, twisting. And recover. Switch sides. Extend your left leg, bend your right leg, and bring your right foot over the left leg. You can hook or that right knee with your right arm and twist to the left. Yeah, and I can feel, yet again, this is a tighter side for me, which means I need to work a little harder on this side. Doesn't matter how far you're twisting even a little. You're doing 100% of this posture. You guys have got it going. One more breath and recover. Whew. Shake that leg out, please. Ah, nice. And believe it or not, Sukhasana, a comfortable seated posture. You can keep your legs extended like this if you'd like, or go into any other variation of a seated posture that you want. All right, let's recapture the breath 3 more times. In and out through the nose, make them a little deeper as we fill the lungs. And then you exhale once again, but this time through the mouth. We inhale through the nose. That's it. We're exhaling through the mouth. One more deep inhale. Nice. And a check from the crown chakra all the way down through the toes. Find out what's happening in the body right now. Working a little bit on the back and a little bit on the core. This was a pretty good session. With one last deep inhalation, bring the arms up and overhead, palms come together. Exhale the breath as the hands come down, past your third eye to your heart center. On your continuing journey, remember always to remain kind. Remain gentle. Always remember to stay fearless. Thank you for a great session this evening. Thank you and namaste.